Okay, so I'm back to make the cliffs of insanity for this one, and I've measured all these rectangular blocks that I did swirled, different colors. I'm cutting them to where they're gonna fit across my mold here. Anyway, all of the oils are melted and mixed with a lye water solution, and I just need to split. I don't even need to split it. It's going to be the same thing. It's indigo, but I want to make a difference between the water and the sky. So I'm going to start slowly with the indigo and do that like that. But first need the essential oil blend for scent. This is a really nice blend that I used on a Hedgehog's Home soap, and it is called Earth and Wood, and it is cedarwood, patchouli, actually two different kinds of cedarwood, patchouli, vetiver, vanilla, and damiana, and it smells somewhat masculine, but just really nice and earthy and kind of musky, and I thought it would be perfect for the hero of our story. It soaped really nice when I made hedgehog soap, so I was excited to use it again. This is the soap for Westley. He's also called the Man in Black, because at first you don't really know that it is Westley, so hopefully that's not a spoiler, but I'm sure people who are going to be watching this are fans of The Princess Bride. Okay, so that looks good as far as mixing. And now I have the indigo, and I'm going to do the water darker than the sky. So I am going to pour a little off just to do the sky in a minute. Okay, so let's try to do this carefully. Start with little and then work my way up to see how blue I want it. Indigo infusion is really strong, and I've said many times before, it's one of my favorite natural colors to work with, and what's cool about it is it actually gets more color as it sits, and as the soaps get older and cure longer and longer on your rack, they just get bluer and bluer, which is really funny because most natural colors actually fade. Greens are always really hard to accomplish, so if you get a nice green to begin with, in a couple months it's not going to be quite so green anymore. Okay, so that maybe just a tiny bit more to make it a dark blue ocean. And a while back I read, I don't know exactly what the title is, I'll put it in the description after this, it's hard to remember right at this moment, but I read about a year ago, Cary Elwes, the actor that played Westley, he did a behind the scenes biography kind of thing, book that was, I think it was called As You Wish, and it was really funny. It was a really good book, so if you're a fan of the book or of the movie, I highly recommend that book as well. Some of the parts were just so funny, and it was neat to see how everything went, how hard it was on him, like for the dueling scenes, which is kind of what this soap is to represent, is the beginning of his journey to get Buttercup. That's why I chose to do the Cliffs of Insanity, because I felt like that was the very first time that you saw how serious he was about coming to get her. He was not going to let anything stop him, much less a humongous cliff face that isn't nearly impossible to climb. And not only does he climb it with the rope, but he climbs it after they cut the rope too. So, very impressive. So that is good for right here, but it looks really loose and I don't think it's going to hold up our cliffs. So I'm going to have to come back in just a minute. And you saw me make the cliffs in the clip before this. So I'm going to try to set these down. They're going to sink, that's for sure. So that's okay. Last one of this spectacular mess. Holy cow. Oy, oy, oy. Hopefully it turns out okay. These are the times when you question yourself. Say, oh man. And try to scoop out. But first I want to make sure that my cliffs are all straight. And I may have to require some planing in between the bars if the water splashed up over the cliffs, but for right now, that's okay. Okay, I have to get the spatula to try to scoop out this end. All right, make sure we give this a good tap down. I'm definitely gonna have to save some for soap dough, just in case there are some holes around the cliffs, which there probably definitely will be. I'll be shocked if there's not. So I'm gonna clean up this mess and we'll be back to cut this tomorrow and add the extra little detail that makes it more Westley. Okay, so I'm back the next day and I'm really happy with the way it smells. I just love this oil blend of how it smells. The top looks really kind of yellowy green right now, but I know how indigo is, and that is like no indication really of what it looks like inside. I know it's going to be a nice pale blue, and that's what's important. And I just got the stamp for it literally today, so I'm very excited about that too. What good timing that it came today. I'm still waiting on the other two stamps for Buttercup and for the book, but those should be coming soon too, and they'll be added to the videos. Oh, yay! Oh, yep, it's definitely what I was expecting and hoping for. And there's not any really, just very minimal holes on the sides, which is great. So I can just kind of fill those in when I clean up the sides. But definitely the water is bluer than the sky, and that's what I was hoping for. And I love the swirls that make it look like rock. Now I am going to take a toothpick and go through here and make it look more like cliffs. But so far, so good. I love it. That's what the Cliffs of Insanity look like as they approached them in the book and in the movie, where they just look like a wall of rock straight up and down. Like, not something that you could even think about climbing. Oh wow, look at that one. So each one is going to be kind of different in the patterns on both sides of what the rock is going to look like. And that's really cool. I just love Wesley's character, especially in the movie. I think that they got the most perfect actor to be him because of his wit and just the way he delivered some of the lines. I think he was so funny and so charming and so handsome, and you just fell in love with both of them together. You wanted them to end up together in the end. Wow, these are so interesting. Some of them there's a little bit of space on the side too, so I really love that in soap when each bar is just a little bit different, because then I feel like every person that gets one is gonna get like a unique piece, a unique soap all that's just for them. And so as a kid, you know, back in the 80s when movies came on, at first, when we first got like cable, which was HBO and Cinemax and all those kind of things to watch movies on, you had like a TV guide, a paper TV guide, and it would tell you when things were on. And it seemed like when they got a new movie like Princess Bride or something, they put it on all the time. And so me and my sisters, I have two sisters, every chance we got to watch The Princess Bride, we did. And always laughed at it. My parents loved it too. The first time we saw it, though, we actually rented it from Blockbuster. It's always tricky to put in a really big in-bed, you know? It usually goes okay if you're careful, but you can get that flow in between things. All right. So these are the last ones. And this one is not full size, so this one might actually need to go to my sister. I'll tell her what it's for. She'd like that. Okay, so now I'm going to take a clean, brand new toothpick, and we'll do one of these cliffs so you can kind of see what I was thinking of, just to make it look more realistic. And toothpicks are really sharp with soft soap, so you just want to go really light. And just kind of scratch and carve a little bit. Even if it makes little blobs like that come up, don't worry. You're going to be able to rub those off later as the soap cures more. So just make them kind of irregular. Have them go all the way down to the bottom, so that it looks like the cliffs are sticking out of the water. And so one of our favorite parts of it, God, there's so many favorite parts of The Princess Bride. Please, if you love this movie, please, I would love to hear from you in the comments. What are your favorite quotes? What are your favorite scenes? Me and my sister absolutely loved the whole part of the Cliffs of Insanity. The climbing of the rope with Andre, how cute he was. And then once they got to the top, we loved the duel between him and Inigo Montoya. The duel was great. And now, after reading Carrie Elwes' book, to know that they worked so hard, both of them, to even do that scene with all the sword play that they actually really did learn, and how hard they practiced and worked. Wow, that was amazing to me. I thought for sure that was mostly all stunt doubles, so that's really interesting. Now see, look, it looks so good. It looks like almost three-dimensional. So there's my Cliffs of Insanity, and here is the stamp. And I got this from a great Etsy shop called Sniggles. I can't say this. Snigglesloth. That's a tongue twister, if there ever was one. Snigglesloth. They have a website.com, and I thought this was the perfect dueling sword. So this is going to go on the top of Westley, also known as the Man in Black. Kind of want to press good so it makes, oh, it did it, yay! All right. So all of the Princess Bride soaps will be available in the next full moon shop update, which is on February 5th. Shop links will be listed below, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Please check out my channel to see other natural colored soaps, and I promise next February there will be another fictional February month where I'll pick another wonderful book or series of books to make videos and soaps about. Thank you. Take care.